today. We're at the Salute to Summer event, which is our annual fundraiser. In the past, a lot of volunteer fire departments do dances or a variety of different fundraisers, and we were trying to think of an event we could do that would bring families out and get the community involved. And so we came up with this idea. We called it Salute to Summer. Kind of ends the summer. Kids are going back to school, but we bring everybody out. We've got bouncy houses and food and bands and a lot of different activities for the whole family. This year we added a race car simulator, which is really actually pretty neat. We were just talking about wanting to try it out. It looks like it actually lets smoke out as you're driving and everything, so pretty realistic. But we try to add some variety every year, keep people coming, keep people interested, but really just make it fun for the kids. And we've also got the fire trucks on display, so kids love that. We have our Quint, which is our truck. That's our ladder truck over there with the flag. We've also got our new rescue truck, which is 119. We're really excited about the truck, and we're trying to show the community what we purchased and the equipment on it so they can see what we're doing with it. But I'm really excited about that. We also have 113 as well, which has been around, but it's one of our largest trucks, and the kids always like that one because it's so big. So we just love to have them out here, let the kids look at them and see the equipment, and again, let the community see what we do. Well, basically, we sell wristbands for all of our attractions. There are a few things that are separate, like the race cars separate this year, but all of our inflatables, a $10 wristband will get you unlimited attempts at the inflatables. And basically the money that we raise here today all goes towards buying equipment. Last year we purchased some AEDs, defibrillators that we use on our trucks. So it's really going back to the community. It helps us with our training, and then on our calls we use that as well. Yeah, we're actually grilling. We have, we got a long list this year. We have hamburgers, we have hot dogs, we have turkey loins, we have ribeyes, which are really good. We also have turkey brats and pork burgers. So we've got quite a list. We have chips. We even come up with some combo meals to make it affordable for people. But yeah, we're grilling all day long, and so good food. I mean, I would expect a couple thousand or more. I mean, it seems like every year it grows, the event gets bigger, word spreads. People start looking for the event now that we're in our 4th year. So we'll hopefully have a really good turnout today. The weather has been great all 4 years, and that really helps us out. Bobbers is great. They've been so good to us. They really help out and contribute to the event, but it's a great open area where we can spread out and, like I said, have all the things for the kids, but it just works great. This is a great scenery with the lake behind us. And like I said, the staff at Bobbers is incredible. They really help us out a ton. We couldn't do it without them. All the money we raise today goes right back to the community. We use it for training, so we're well equipped to help when we're needed. We also purchase equipment, which is key. And so we'll purchase, the artificial defibrillators. We'll purchase, just whatever equipment we need on our trucks, gear for our new recruits, things like that. What I love about the event, is, especially working the event, it's just great. It's great to see the community come out and support their fire department. All of us, that's why we're in this, is for the community. So we love seeing the kids have fun on the inflatables, and it's great camaraderie amongst all of us working together all day long, but it's just a good way to interact with the community. My kids love it. I'm waiting for them to get here in a little bit. So it's just a fun event, and like I said, a lot of departments do other things. Some of them have dances and different things, which kind of excludes the family. This is just really what it's all about here in North Liberty, is getting the family involved, and that's why I like it so much.
Well, we got school back in session for all the elementary and middle school. It's just good, important information for kids and parents to be able to kind of have an understanding of better ways to communicate and do things as far as safety. The most important thing is just good communication with each other and have a game plan in effect. Be game A, game B, or game C. I think parents should always know where their children are at and what the events are going to be after school and where they should be and who they should be with. The North Liberty Police Department has constructed a list of some really good safety tips, and I want to bring those to your attention today, and hopefully they'll be beneficial to the community. Be alert and aware of people and their surroundings, so that's good for parents and children both. Familiarize your children with parents' names, phone numbers, and home addresses, and who they can tell. Always ask permission before leaving home or the yard. If your child is out, discuss locations of safe havens your children can go for safety, houses of neighbors you trust, stores, shops, police and fire stations, and business offices. Really any place that you designate with your child. Walk and play with other children. Try not to be alone at any time. Talk to your child about the friends and get to know them and their parents. And with that, I say get phone numbers and stuff like that. Often we have children that end up missing and they say, well, they're with so-and-so, and parents have no idea what the phone numbers to those parents are, so it's always important. Stay in well-lighted areas and public view. Teach your child to report suspicious persons to you, teachers, trusted adults, or police officers. Children often make good junior police officers reporting those things. Establish a code word with your child, instructing them never to go with anyone who does not know the code word. Remove identifying names, addresses visible from public or clothes or backpacks. If your child is approached or followed by a suspicious vehicle or person, you can scream, say no, run away in the opposite direction, run to a safe haven, and call the police. Teach your child what to take notice of when they encounter suspicious vehicle or persons, type and color of vehicle, license plate number, description of occupants, include gender, clothing, and any distinguishing marks. Let your child know that they can call 911 from a public phone or cell phone in case of an emergency. Often other kids have cell phones. All the businesses have cell phones. Most of the businesses in town are what I would consider to be a safe haven as well. Parents should keep a booklet or have updated every 6 months physical description and color photograph of their child. In the event of something happening to their child, they're able to provide that to law enforcement. Recommend to have medical and dental records, a sample of DNA, and child fingerprints in a known location. And if a child is lost or missing, call 911 immediately. This sheet that I'm reading from is available on the North Liberty Police Department website. We also are in the schools throughout the year periodically. We do have safety information and pamphlets that go out to the kids, and that information is also available at the North Liberty Police Department. So we'd love to have you come in and pick some of that information up.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Kaplinger, and I'm here today to tell you about the North Liberty Steering Committee's Fun Run and Walk. I'm standing at Liberty Center right now, where the event will take place on Sunday, September 16th, and registration begins at 8:15 in the morning. This is the 9th year for the North Liberty Fun Run and Walk, and we call it a fun run because we encourage people to have fun while they are running or walking. We don't time the run as far as chipping or gunning, though we do have a clock available. We don't time people specifically. It's encouraged for people to go out, see their neighbors, and have a good time. We do know who the fastest male is and the fastest female, and we also have a lot of fun by having people in costumes. This year we'll give a prize to all of the people who show up in costume, and our proceeds will go to the American Heart Association. We're also going to have the firefighters out this year. These firefighters aren't just from North Liberty, they're from the entire area. They come out in gear, including oxygen tanks, helmets, and boots, and run the 5K with everyone else. The winner of that will receive the Fast Feet Firefighting Trophy. So we encourage firefighters from all over to come out and run, and any firefighter in gear runs for free. The school with the most people registered will receive $100, and we will award the American Heart Association and the school with the most registrants on our chamber banquet, which happens November 8th. So registration by September 6th is $10. Here's the great thing about the kids. Kids 12 and under race for free with a responsible adult, and if you sign up by September 6th, a kid's shirt for someone 12 and under is $5. So it's really great to have an opportunity to get a shirt and not pay a whole lot, get in shape, see your neighbors, see the beauty of North Liberty. Everyone's invited. You don't have to be a fitness guru. You don't have to have run a 5K before, because this is meant to be a fun run and walk. Get out glitter wigs, get out your fun costumes. The more fun we can have, the better.
Hello, my name is Craig Bopperell. I'm the public education captain here at the North Liberty Fire Department, and today I wanted to show you our newest addition to the fire department, which is our rescue truck. This truck is a Pierce International truck. It was custom built for the North Liberty Fire Department this year. So what I want to do is I just want to show the community what the truck is all about, what's in the truck, and the purpose that we use it for. This truck is the truck that we use most commonly. The most common type of call that we receive here for the fire department is medical calls or medical assist calls, and this is the first truck that goes en route to such a call. Therefore, like I earlier said, this is the call that we use most commonly. So in this compartment here, we have what's called a cascade system. A cascade system is what we would use to fill our SCBA tanks on the scene of a fire. The SCBA tanks are the backpacks that we wear on our backs that are full of air that we obviously need to have in order to go into a burning building. So with this system here, we put new air into our backpacks so that we can continue to fight the fire. Another primary purpose of this apparatus is for vehicle rescues, and what goes along with that is we have in here what's called airbags. These airbags we would use if we needed to like maybe lift up a vehicle a little bit, or if we needed to make some more space or something like that. These airbags are actually very powerful, and they can give us a little bit of room to work with when we need it. And it's just some more miscellaneous rescue tools that we have here. Over in this compartment, once again, a lot of it's rescue tools since this is a rescue truck. We have miscellaneous tools. Some of these tools are very common that you'll see on any of our trucks. Axe, Halligan bar, or otherwise known as a married pair here. Some rescue saw, just to name a few, what we call an A tool, just miscellaneous tools that we would use for different tasks at any given rescue. Up top we have a fire extinguisher. We have a couple of fire extinguishers, and then we also have what's called a Stokes basket. A Stokes basket is what we use for rescues, and actually I recently just used this on a call where somebody fell down on the rocks at the reservoir, and when you've got to carry them a long ways before you can get them to a stretcher or to an ambulance, you would use what's called a Stokes basket in order to provide better protection for the patient while you're moving them around. We just simply call these blocks, or at least I do. These are the tools that we would use once again in a vehicle rescue. We would also use these tools to help stabilize a vehicle if we had a vehicle rollover or a partial rollover. These are the blocks that we use to put underneath the vehicle or to put around the vehicle in order to secure it so that we can provide our rescue service. Obviously our number one rule of firefighting is that we always got to ensure the safety of the scene before we can get too engaged in whatever it is that we're trying to do. So if we have a vehicle rollover, or some kind of other serious vehicle accident, a lot of times this will be one of the first compartments that we turn to in order to secure the vehicle the best that we can before we have to maybe provide any extrication of any type. And then on this top shelf in this compartment, we've got some more tools. Here, this is what's called an MCI bag, or a mass casualty bag. And here is special equipment, medical equipment really, that we would use if we ever had the unfortunate incident of a mass casualty, like a bus accident or a school bus accident or something, which obviously I hope we never have to use. And then also is just some more equipment that we would use, electrical equipment. If we were running electrical tools and we needed obviously a power source, this is the compartment that we would turn to basically provide us an extension cord that we would need in order to operate our equipment. We'll come back. All right, the cab itself holds 4 firefighters, and then inside the cab is our medical supplies that we use most often. Inside the cab we have our medical bags that provide all of our medical equipment, basic medical equipment I should say, for our firefighters. All the North Liberty firefighters are certified EMTs, first responders, or paramedics. So with that being said, we have like a suction unit in the truck that we would use for the proper situation. And then also in our medical bags, everything from stuff as simple as Band-Aids and oxygen to, AED or any of those other types of medical supplies that we would need for a call. So those supplies are all located here in the middle of the cab of the truck. And then in the very front of the truck here, nothing too exciting. The person who sits in the front passenger seat is known as the commanding officer, and that person is in charge of the scene. That person's in charge of a number of tasks, but just to name a few, one would be firefighter safety. safety of the patient or patients that are in need of our assistance. And then the person who sits in this seat would be the one that would be responsible for the entire scene, everything, you know, all the way down to the rescue if it was an extrication, providing that we had, or this person would ensure that we have proper resources there. You know, if we have a vehicle that's leaking fluid, this person in this seat would request a fire engine so that we would have a water source in case we needed it. So once again, the person who sits up here is the officer that's in charge. On this side of the truck is just more tools that we would use. You know, one of the things the kids always ask me whenever I take a truck to the fire school, or whenever I take a truck to the schools, the kids always ask, you know, why are fire trucks so big? And one of the reasons I tell them is because we gotta have space to carry all the different types of tools that we need in order to carry out our job. So as you're going through the truck, you might see some tools that you think kind of look the same, but believe me, they all have a purpose, and we use all of them. And this compartment here is just once again some more miscellaneous rescue tools. It's also, we've got some stuff in here for ropes if we have a water rescue. What else we got here? We got just a regular tool bag, some more medical supplies, caution cones that we use that we put up when we're at, especially out on the interstate, to try to give vehicles warning that we're obviously there. And then in this compartment here, once again, this is just more rescue tools. These are called Kodiak bars. Kodiak bars is another stabilization tool that we would use if we had a vehicle that needed to be stabilized before we could extricate somebody from it. These are basically great big steel adjustable bars, and it just provides safety for us, the firefighters, and for anybody that's inside the vehicle as we're trying to extricate them out. Extricate. And then in the back here, just these are SCBA bottles. SCBA tanks are what we obviously use when we're fighting a fire and we need to breathe clean air. This truck does go to fire calls because of the cascade system, which I showed you earlier. And once again, that cascade system is what provides air for these tanks if we need it. This is the most common type of rescue tools that we would need. We've got what some people call the jaws of life. It's not really referred to that anymore. We just call them rescue tools or cutters and spreaders. They're hydraulic tools, so what we use these tools, you know, maybe to pry open a car door or for other types of miscellaneous rescues. And that same thing down here. This is also a rescue tool that we would use if necessary on the scene of any given rescue. So, also up top on the compartment of the truck, we have a walkway up top. And up top is just more storage areas where we hold other rescue tools and equipment that we may need. As I stated earlier when I first started the tour of the truck, this is a custom-built truck that was built for the North Liberty Fire Department. The City of North Liberty graciously provides us the budget funds necessary to purchase a apparatus like this. However, the budget doesn't always cover everything. A lot of the tools that you see here on this truck were actually purchased with our donation money. The donation money that we receive from the community. So on behalf of everybody here at the North Liberty Fire Department, I would like to thank the entire community for the money that you guys donate, because it does go to important things like purchasing tools that we would need for rescue.
The City of North Liberty has 8 lift stations, and what the lift stations do are they're sanitary sewer stations that actually pump the waste up into a gravity main and take off down to the wastewater plant. Typically we have it engineered so there's enough flow in these lift stations to provide turnover in each lift station that things don't go septic or stagnant. In Herkies or Penn Street out on the other side of 380, there's very little flow in that lift station a day in a 24-hour period. There's nearly 1.5 miles of force main. Penn Street lift station kicks on. It probably runs 4 times a day, probably pushes 500 to 1,200 gallons of sewage through that pipe, and it just doesn't move it very far down the line. It settles and starts to decompose and go septic, and microorganisms can't eat like they do down at the wastewater plant. So it gets stagnant. What happens is then each time it moves, it stirs that up, and eventually we get sewer smells, sulfur smells, and whatnot. We came up with this pigging operation, which pigging has been around since 1950s, and they started using pigs to clean oil crude lines down in Texas. And the name pig came from the sound that the pig made, because the lines, crude oil lines, were above ground. The pig would actually squeal by on the metal pipes when it went by when it was cleaning it, so thus came the name pig or pigging. We have enough pigs that we can do it on our own, so it was a learning seminar type thing for us, and actually did the pigging. The pigs can consist of, there's several different types, and there's several different types on the internet. It's a foam round cylinder, and the white ones that are shown in the movie is scrapers, and they're foam. It's just like a Nerf ball. Those go in behind the bullet type scrapers that actually do the scrubbing. So what it actually does, it's a cylinder that matches the size of the pipe and just goes right through, and it's scrubbing bubbles almost, just squeegees it real clean. But everything's pretty much made of foam or plastic, and it's all flexible because there's 90 degrees and T's that it has to go through. We have an otologger, which is a testing device that we hang in a manhole that's in the gravity part of the section of the sewer, and it gets data every 15 minutes of what the temperature is in the manhole and what the gases are. And we did that a week prior and then a week after, and we saw a huge deficit in gases and smells and odors. So we'll keep an eye on that, and when we think that it's starting to rise again, the H2S and whatnot, we'll go out and do it ourselves again. We can do this on an annual, regular basis. We don't know yet. It certainly doesn't take too long. We did 6 pushes in a day and a half, and we're real happy with it. We're real happy with the results. We're happy that it's user-friendly. We're happy that it's something that we learned how to do, and we can do it whenever we feel the need.
This past Saturday, August 4th, we had our first annual youth triathlon. We had the participants check in at 8 o'clock and started roughly about 9 o'clock with the swim. We did heats of swimming until about 9:50. Then the kids went out and biked on Cherry, Front, Zeller, and Stewart, and then they came back to the rec, dropped their bikes off, and ran around Liberty Center. At 9 o'clock, we started the 12 to 14 age group. There were 10 kids in that. At 9:05, we had 5 heats of the 9 to 11 age group. There were about 8 kids in each age group, or in each heat, so we had 40 kids go through. And then about 9:30, we started the 6 to 8 age group, where we had 8 kids per heat and 5 heats again for 40 kids. We color coordinated the age groups for the kids, so they had yellow for the youngest, then we went to blue and orange. They wore their swim cap color. They went out from the pool, went out to the parking lot, removed their swim cap, and they put on their color coordinated shirt with their race number, jumped on their bike, and then they were guided by volunteers out of the south parking lot here at the rec center, and they went around their route for their bike, came back, and then volunteers again helped them around Liberty Center to complete their run. They went out on the sidewalk. They were guided underneath the 965 bypass. Shortly after the underpass, the 6 to 8 year olds turn around. Then the 9 to 11 completed 1 lap of Liberty Center, and the 12 to 14 went around Liberty Center twice, and they returned back to the rec center to complete their race. As soon as each child passed over the finish line, we had someone there giving them their participation medal. Everyone who ran across the finish line got one, and then we were able to award top finishers for male and female of each age group based on their time. When we were advertising a little bit more for the youth triathlon in June, we had about 30 kids enrolled at that point. As everyone, I think, started talking and letting them know that we had the event, we were growing. We had about 60 fill up fairly quickly, and then based on the time constraints of starting at 9 o'clock and trying to finish by 11 to have the outdoor pool open at noon, we capped the participant enrollment to 90. We did reach that capacity about 2 weeks before the event. We had quite a few on the wait list, and we were able to get about 5 of those kids on the wait list from those who withdrew for various reasons to open up those spots for the younger kids. 90 seemed to go really well. We hope to start earlier next year, so that way we can accommodate a lot more kids who are wanting to participate in the event. I think the swim went really well. We probably will go a little earlier than 5 minutes in between. We are looking to just get kids involved, and so we may not keep times, just so that way we're able to get more kids through the event. And then also we're going to try to look at different routes or look at ways that we can clean up the bike route. We weren't anticipating very many vehicles, if at all, on the road, and there were some motorists that still needed to get through, and so we're going to try to look at maybe changing to a Sunday morning to alleviate some of those concerns, and then also potentially looking at different routes or different ways that we can go about closing off the route so that way we can get kids on the road safely. I think a lot of kids wanted to get involved just because there are not very many summer activities for them to do. I do know that there was one in Iowa City that brought a few more kids here. A youth triathlon in Iowa City. Then there was the Iron Kids in Cedar Rapids, which struck a lot of interest here in North Liberty. And I think that once one kid got involved and they heard that their friends were involved, then they really wanted to get out and just try the event. We would like to thank all of the volunteers that came out and make the event possible. We had a lot of sponsors that really helped put the event together. And then we did partner with TriFit Agape. Denise Barnhouse did an awesome job helping set up the event and make it run very smoothly for all of the kids.